With the new 25% tariffs that President Trump imposed on U.S. imports from Canada and Mexico, and his decision to hike tariffs on China by 10%, Trump has now imposed the biggest new U.S. tariffs since the 1930s. I think a lot of Americans would support tariffs that were targeted to protect specific American industries where, for economic or national security reasons, we want to make sure that we produce products here at home. We want to make sure, for example, that we produce enough computer chips, given how central computer chips are to all aspects of modern life. And maybe the U.S. needs some basic capacity to make our own steel and aluminum. Tariffs can be a part of a policy mix to achieve these kinds of industrial policy goals. Many of us also support tariffs on China, like those Trump imposed during his first term, to help protect U.S. industry from unfair Chinese practices and to reduce our dependencies on China. But that's not what Trump did today. His tariffs on Canada and Mexico cover effectively all products made by America's two largest trading partners. Americans are going to see how these tariffs play out over the next couple of weeks. Already, retailers like Target are saying they'll probably have to raise prices, and we'll probably see impacts on car manufacturers and other American manufacturing as well, since even U.S. manufacturers like Ford source many of their parts in Canada and Mexico, parts that will now face tariffs. Mexico also sells us a lot of avocados, tomatoes, and other vegetables, especially in winter, which are now going to face tariffs as well. As you can imagine, Canada and Mexico aren't just accepting the tariffs laying down. Already, Canada has imposed retaliatory tariffs of its own on American products sold in Canada, and Mexico has announced that it plans to retaliate as well. Some Canadian officials are also talking about taking action against companies they see as close to President Trump, like Tesla, as a way of putting pressure on the Trump administration to negotiate. This is a rift in the North American economic and political relationship unlike any I've seen in my professional lifetime, and I certainly hope that we can negotiate a détente in the weeks to come. If we can't, I suspect this trade war is going to prove pretty costly for America in both economic and geopolitical terms, as well as for Mexico and Canada.